Are you having problems with your plants growing? Maybe you're dealing with a really persistent algae issue that you've been struggling to fix. Maybe you had plants that were healthy for a while, but now, all of a sudden, they're not doing so well. I'm here to help. A while back, I introduced a program called In-Depth Solutions, where I would work directly with people to help fix some of their problems inside their aquariums. I kind of want to re-extend that olive branch. Now, the difference here is that I want to try something different. In a recent live stream, I'll have a link to it here, but we might even do a short clip of just the portion to give you an example as a kind of separate video later this week. Basically, in that live stream, what I did is I took an email from a viewer and I walked through that email and my thought process on how I would start to tackle that problem, because I wanted to have kind of a live interaction where people could understand how I start solving problems, especially when it comes to plants and algae, in my own aquariums. I want to do that for you. So if you're having problems, it's really simple. You can send me an email at bentley.pascoe@gmail.com. That is right here on the screen. It will also be down in the description. It's also in the About section for my channel. There's 3 different places where you can find that. And all you have to do is provide a few bits of information. Number 1, I kind of need to know some of the parameters of your tank. So if you have something like the Aquarium Co-op or Tetra 6-in-1 test strips, API Master Test Kit, what I'd like to know is those parameters, and I especially would like if you could include your general hardness, GH, and carbonate hardness, KH. Often when it comes to plants, GH and KH really matter on top of all the other numbers. And just give me those numbers. I know you might be like, oh, they're all perfect, Bentley. Let me see those actual numbers, because it does matter and it helps in that kind of problem-solving process. I need to know whether or not your tank is using CO2 and how much CO2. It's okay to guesstimate. You don't necessarily have to be like, I have exactly 35 ppm, Bentley. You could be like, hey, I have a drop checker and it's always bright green, or I put about this many bubbles per second into my system. Something like that gives me a rough estimation of how much CO2 you're using, if you are using it. If you're not using CO2, just say, hey, no CO2. What kind of light are you using? And if you have the ability to send me a screenshot of your lighting profile, similar to how we did on the Flu Vol series, right? That would be helpful. And then finally, whatever your actual problem is, a couple of quick, easy pictures, preferably one close-up of the problem. Try to make it as clean and crisp as possible. If it's starting to get distorted, zoom out a little bit more. That's okay. I can use some extra tools to kind of zoom in on photos. And then one, it is kind of like your full tank. You can send a short video if you would like to. But pictures is really all I need, and just something very simple from your cell phone. It doesn't have to be crazy. You don't need a big fancy camera. Your cell phone should suffice just fine. Lastly, I need to, in general, know how long you've been dealing with this problem. So my example would be like, let's say you had some plants that were doing really good for the first 3 to 4 months of your tank. You got through your conversion, and they started getting really lush and beautiful, and then you started noticing like, hey, the leaves on this particular plant aren't doing so well. Let me know that kind of like general context. Give me a little basic history. You don't need to write me a super complex novel, but if you would like to give me that level of detail, excellent. Because the more detail you can provide, usually the better I can figure out the right actions to take and where I would start and like how I would walk through that process, right? I just want you to kind of be able to have, one, you're going to get a dedicated video of your problem and how I would approach solving it. And 2, on the back end, we'll continue to keep in touch via email, and I will do my best to help you. That's it. Very simple. I know. I really had fun, and it seemed like people in both the comments and the live chat really enjoyed this approach. And I, in general, like helping people solve their problems, so I kind of want to extend this out to all of you watching right now. If you are having problems with your tank, let me try to help. I want to be really clear with a couple of things. There are some really important caveats to this. Number 1, I'm really bad at fish diseases. And this is not going to be something where it's like you're having a problem now and you need an answer tomorrow. It will probably take me a little bit to get to your answer, but I will get to your answer. 2, if you don't hear a response from me in like, say, 5 days, it's perfectly okay to be like, hey, just making sure you saw this. like just a little quick ping in staying in your email thread. I get pretty busy at work, so sometimes I get a little behind on email, but I've been doing a pretty good job recently. And also, I get a ton of spam from all sorts of companies trying to get me to like do videos of their cheap Amazon product that doesn't have nothing to do with fish. So sometimes you'll get a little buried because of that, and I'm going hunting for your email. But very seriously, especially if you're a member, and you're on the members Discord, message me in the Discord at Bentley, get my attention. I will certainly do everything I can to help you out. So that's kind of it. I know this is not like the most interesting video, and I apologize for that, but I really enjoy helping people. And when I have an opportunity or something that seems to go well with my audience for a little while, I like being able to do that, because what I think the value here, for those of you who are like, well, my plants are doing fine, or I don't know, I don't really run into problems that often, or maybe you're like, I don't get why this matters if I'm not the one person with the problem. Where this can be helpful is that by me giving you an exact scenario of someone else's problem, even if it's not yours, right? And walking through it and how I would approach to fix that, you might learn down the line some technique that will help you approach a problem when you encounter it, and find kind of the methodology that I take might give you some ideas on how to do it in your own time, so that you don't end up having to send the emergency email like, oh, Bentley, please help. That's my goal. I want to help everybody learn a little bit. There is this great thing that I take as a personal philosophy, that a rising tide raises all ships. I believe so firmly in that. I like helping everyone get better at their skill set so that we all have less problems and we all have more success. That is something that I've lived my life by, and I just want to see if I can keep doing it. So with that being said, I hope you have enjoyed this video. Please leave a comment down below. If you have maybe a particular thing that you liked if you watched that other video, and I will clip it into an individual video and put it out on the channel a little bit after this video, so that folks can skip all the extra stuff in the live stream and see that exact like chunk of video to get a feel for how this is going to be done. It'll be a little more edited because it won't be a live stream and it'll be an actual video, but it's going to be pretty simple. These will be straightforward things where our goal is to kind of help everyone learn a little trick here and there and get better at having success in a planet aquarium, have a success dealing with algae long-term, etc., etc. If you're not subscribed to this channel and you're thinking, man, this could be really helpful for me, please consider subscribing. It's one of the best ways to tell the YouTube algorithm, like, hey, I like this, someone else might too, and it really, really does help small YouTube channels like mine. As always, my friends, thank you so much for watching, and stay awesome.